So a few months ago, Grubhub released this ad, and people promptly turned it into a meme. If you haven't watched it yet, don't. Hi, I'm Brian Albert. I'm an animation student and also a glutton for punishment, so I'll be doing a frame-by-frame analysis of the Grubhub Delivery Dance. What am I doing? So we start on frame 1. This kid is dead. He doesn't move. This boy doesn't move. What has he seen? Whoa, and he just moves his eyes in like one frame. Boop. That's one frame. And let's look at his dad over here. And those are tiny ass steps. Those are some really tiny steps for someone as tall as him should not be stepping that small. So he walks in. This is a pretty standard walk. It's just his stride is way too small. Walks are like the bread and butter animation. You start with bouncing ball animations, and you move into like more complex stuff like walking. And walking is one of the things that you just do. And if you can get a walk down, you can basically get a whole bunch of stuff down. Just looking at this walk, there's squash. When he steps down, his whole body squashes down. So see, when he comes up, he stretches, his body stretches out, and then as he comes down, it squashes. That's not bad. That's actually not that bad. I don't see much movement in his fingers, which isn't that big of a deal. I wouldn't have expected a whole lot of finger animation in an advertisement. It's this step that really bothers me because it's way too small. Also, it looks like that whoever animated this really leaned into the down part of the walk. So walks have a certain set of just sort of basic poses. They all follow this pattern of a contact down, passing up, and then contact again. And this animator has chosen to really emphasize the down. He spends a lot of time in the down, which is a choice. So now looking into this facial emotion chain, and he goes to look at his phone. One, this kid hasn't moved still. Someone should go check on him if he's alive. Okay, so he goes up to tap on his phone. His facial expression does not change in all of this frame. He just has this open smile with wide eyes, which is just so unnerving. See, visually, this doesn't look terrible. I mean, just look at the out of focus background. The reflection on the sink is really nice. The surface scattering on the skin and this, I guess, glossiness. They obviously played up the glossiness on everything here, I guess, to make it look like clay? I don't know. But there's like a slight subsurface scattering. That's that pinkness that happens when light passes through the skin. It comes off a little red-ish. It's not the blood in your body. It's just the way that light bounces around in your skin. What is that? These lines on his finger. Those aren't supposed to be there. These highlights? That's weird. That's so weird. What I think is happening here is that the model has two planes, and whenever there's a plane shift, like whenever there's a plane shift, there's a difference in shadow and lightness. So that might be what's happening. I don't know. I'm not a modeler. So this is a big motion here. So this is anticipation for the tap, and the tap itself is 1, 2, 3 frames. That's pretty fast. Let's see what that looks like in motion. Because the lead up is really slow, which is good, because that's good staging. You have the phone right in this third, in the rules of thirds. It's right in that golden ratio. And then you have the hand coming up slowly so that we can see what it's about to do before it happens, which is the principle of anticipation. So let's see what that looks like in motion.
On the food you love.
That's not bad, actually. This opening bit is probably not the worst of the animation. I think that most of the problems will start to occur once we hit the dancing. So let's actually jump forward to that. Oh, here we go. Here it comes. So we have this zoom in. Oh no, I already know what's about to happen. Okay. Oh my gosh, this frame is terrifying. Oh god. Oh no. Oh, I don't like that. Please don't look at me like that. Please don't. Oh, that's weird. That's why that's so unsettling. Okay, there's a few things happening here. So he turns to look at the camera, which is just a basic head turn, which is another animation sort of thing that people do to practice. And usually there's some sort of anticipation to the turn to motivate the action. And here, I guess the joke is he just looks right at the camera. That's the joke. The joke of this shot is that he looks at the camera. Oh my gosh. But here they have chosen to not do that for comedic effect and have him whip his head towards the camera and then make this face. which is a choice. How do I put this? It looks terrible. I'm never gonna get a job with this company. All chances that I have to get a job with whatever company did this are gone the minute that this video comes out. See, there's this thing in animation called appeal, where it's just a character's ability to be, I guess, enjoyable on screen, and that has a lot to do with movement and acting and posing, and the way that the animator chooses the character to behave to make it enjoyable to watch on screen. And I think that one of the main problems about this commercial is that for some people, not everyone, I bet there are some people who really enjoyed this commercial, and more power to you, but for some people, the movement and the posing was just not appealing. And it isn't appealing to me personally, just my personal opinion. Like, just, I don't know, just this look. It's not a look that people can make. How do you make that face? I can't do it. And I think a part that really does bother me is how he just morphs into it. I'm bad at facial animation. I am horrible at facial animation. And one of my problems is that your face doesn't just morph into different facial expressions. It's more than just a transition from one facial expression to another. There's a little bit more to it that I'm still honestly trying to figure out, and probably never will, because I'm a storyboard artist. But what happens here is that there's just this slow... See, he just morphs into it. And then he hits this, the rest of his body, his head, his face, doesn't move, but his jaw continues turning, and then it settles. It eases into it. Oh, and is it just frozen? There's no frame. He's not I'm pressing the button. He's not moving. Who did this? So it looks like he's about to anticipate a movement here. Yeah, he does. So this is another anticipation, which I don't remember if I explained it already, but it's when you do an action that lets the audience know what is about to happen. It's the putting their arm back before throwing the ball kind of thing. So here he squashes down to jump up with his sandwich. What is that face? What is that face? I get that they're trying to do a cartoony style, and I have no problem with that. I love the animation in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs and Hotel Transylvania. I like how Sony Pictures Animation does this really crazy, cartoony, Looney Tunes sort of animation. I like that. But I think what doesn't seem to work about this, and why facial poses like this just aren't working, is that it feels like that the rig of the character, like the bones and the skeletons and the muscles of the character, aren't flexible enough to achieve what the animators want to achieve, at least in the face. Because this would be a lot funnier if they pushed it more. And I feel like it feels like the animators are being held back. And I know that this is a commercial, and they do not have the time and the money to do just anything crazy and really dive deep. So all of the criticisms that I'm giving are probably like the animators are like, yeah, we know. But you know, man, that sandwich looks good. Wow, they nailed the sandwich though. I think that's not bad. Now that I'm looking at it a bit closer, it does kind of rub me the wrong way in places, but you know what, I'll give him credit where credit is due. It's not bad. Ooh, oh my gosh. Oh my god. Oh wow, he's really gonna dig into that. Oh, see, he doesn't even take a bite. He doesn't even take a real bite. Yeah, he doesn't even touch it. Oh gosh. Oh no, here we go. Here we go. Let's just watch it in motion and and see, and then let's go back and see what it is. Oh. Let's dive into that. Let's talk about that. I think that the biggest thing about what makes this section, which is majority of the commercial, so annoying for people, is one, the soundtrack. It's just not. I don't know why they picked this music in the background. I personally don't find it very entertaining, especially when I think also a lot of it has to do with repetition. Like, this is one of those ads that gets shown everywhere all the time if you're on, like, you know, Hulu or whatever. Seeing it over and over and over again, obviously you're going to eventually hate it, and it doesn't help that the music is annoying. But on the animation level, there's like a few things that I feel like that just they tried to go for something and it just didn't work. Again, and I'm gonna say this again, no fault to any of the people who worked on this. I don't think. I honestly I don't blame them. This is a commercial. There's restrictions, but I don't know. I'm an animation student. I like watching animation and picking it apart, even this stuff that I love. So let's start with this first bit. This is where I feel like I think most of the animation budget and the rigging budget went on the bodies, because these are the flexibleness, the bendiness of all of his joints and stuff are what I would expect to see from this kind of style of animation. The body poses are fine, honestly, actually. I think in movement, it's a little annoying because these are dance moves that no one should be doing. And if I catch you doing them, I will find you. This is a real dance move. So, and they only showed a part of it. Also, man, look at the socks. Wow. I really appreciate how much they put into the socks. I think that might just be some normal mapping displacement map stuff, which isn't hard nowadays or expensive. In fact, it's probably the cheaper option. They didn't need to go so hard on the textures. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so these guys do a little bit of stretch as they come up. I need to move my mouse. I've become the teacher that doesn't move the mouse from the middle of the screen. Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice this. So the girl on the right, her entire mouth does this stretch as she comes up, and her face kind of catches up. That's so weird. Oh, this shape here that she's making with her arm, I like that. This is a good silhouette. I think that these are good poses. This sushi is completely unobstructed. He holds up the Grubhub app in his phone up in the air so it's very clear. If you made this all dark and made it a complete silhouette, you could still tell what was going on. It's the faces. What is he doing with his mouth? What is she doing with her mouth? There's this like weird plasticiness to it, or like clayiness to their skin that's a little off-putting. I can see where the plane changes are, where the highlights are. Like you can see this is where his cheek plane turns into his like front, like the front of his cheek, and then it turns and then becomes the side, because there's this hard, not really hard, but like pretty sharp edge here. Oh, why doesn't he have teeth? I didn't know he didn't have teeth. Or does he have teeth? Or is it just, oh, he has teeth. Oh, they rotated his, what the heck? His teeth aren't flush with his lip. They come off of his lip. That's weird. That's an oversight. Is that a stylistic choice? I don't know if I like that. That's upsetting. Because your teeth are supposed to be flush to your mouth pretty much all the time. But here, there's like a massive gap where his teeth should be. So it's either you make it so that the teeth can expand that way, or you just make it so that when you attach the rig to the model, you make it so that those teeth move with the mouth controllers or the mouth deform bones so that it can, you know, look not weird. So yeah, we got some bendiness here. They're really leaning towards cartooniness, which I think that everyone sort of knew already. This is the shot. Okay, this is the shot that bothers me, because none of the movements land, none of the poses land. Also, the character designs are low-key kind of ugly. No offense. I'm ragging on these guys way too much. They're working professionals. I'm living in a dorm room. The salad looks good. They really nailed the food. I think that was the point. I think that they spent a lot of time on the food, because that's what they're selling, aren't they? They're selling your ability to get food from places. I know what the problem is for this shot. It's lack of arcs. In animation, you want things to have arcs. You don't want things to really move in straight lines, unless you are animating a robot, I guess. But if you want something to be organic and believable, you want their movements to be in sort of an arcing motion visually on the screen. And what my problem is here is that it seems like that they just sort of snap from one pose to another. You can get away with that with snappy, cartoony 2D animation, but it just doesn't work in 3D. At least I've never seen it work in 3D. Someone might prove me wrong one day. What do I know? But here it just doesn't work. So let's see here. Let's take her hand with the fork. It just comes straight towards the camera, which I know is like that's what they're going for, but that doesn't mean it works. You're just seeing this almost like piston-like movement, and that's why it just doesn't look natural to me. I bet from the side, I bet there's an arc there. So, but now let's see the people in the background. This guy on the left, I think, is the worst offender. I don't know who animated the guy on the left, because he has some arcs in there. I think in this first move where he puts his arm up. There you go. That's a great arc, and a good breaking of the joint here to make it snap up. But if you look at his other hand that's holding the bag, it just moves straight across. It moves straight from here to here. It would have been great if he just brought it down a bit and made it arc. just brought it down so that this will also be an arc, and that would have been a lot stronger. And then I think this next pose, they have one smear frame with the breaking of the joint, and then it goes straight here. So from our perspective, we just see it go from here straight down. There's no indication of the arc. Usually if you want a smear frame, you have a smear frame that indicates the arc of the motion, even if it's just for one frame. So if they wanted to make it this fast and keep the arc going, this frame right here could have been like this really crazy stretch motion blur smear that they could just artificially do. They don't have to make it realistic motion blur because it doesn't look like they're trying to make it realistic, except for the food, I guess. If they just added in that smear frame, it kills two birds with one stone. See, it's interesting because the other arm here actually has an arc. See, they did it there. Why didn't they do it? I guess it was just a choice then. Then that was just an active choice. It must have been, or maybe an oversight. I don't know. Okay, so here's another arc with his sushi hand. This arcs down. That's good. Same with the other arm. It arcs down. That's good. I think it was just that one movement that pissed me off. Oh, goodness. Oh, my gosh. Oh, no. It's the facial expression. Oh, see, I like this, actually. I like this sort of like pull-off thing. Oh, but I would have loved some more recoil. So look how far over her mouth is on this side and how it stretches to one side and how it kind of swings. I would have loved if there was a little more swing in the other direction. Like if it just went, whoop. This bit is just weird. I just don't understand it. Why is the hair so realistic? Why did they make the hair so realistic? Also, she's pregnant. I didn't realize that. Or unless she's not and I'm a terrible person. Oh gosh. I don't know what Grubhub's asphyxiation. I don't know what Grubhub's fixation is on this like circular gyration movement. I don't know if they think it's as fun. I don't think it's as funny as they think it is. I think that's it. That's as much as I can say here. I don't think we're going to get much more commentary out of these next few minutes because it's more of the same. Oh, okay, the ending. Okay, so this part at the end. So he does his dance. His son finally comes back from the dead. He's about to go for the bite. And then he does... This kind of works. Kinda. The snap between these two poses is a bit much for me. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, and that's my frame-by-frame analysis of the Grubhub Delivery Dance. Mom and Dad, I'm so sorry this is what you're paying college for. I think just my overall thoughts on this is that it works at a technical sense, but there's just something about it that rubs people the wrong way, and it feels like that it's going towards this really cartoony style, but it feels restricted. The facial animation feels really restricted. The fact that it kind of dips its toes into being like a little realistic with all the shaders and the textures, it just kind of sits in this weird middle area that's not necessarily the uncanny valley, but definitely something that's not quite there yet. There's a lot of things I did like about this. I mean, it's fine, like shaders and textures are fine, and I there are some actions that didn't piss me off, but overall it's just unnatural and annoying and really uncomfortable to watch. If you're one of the people who really likes this commercial, I do not blame you. It's fine, go ahead, more power to you. I just can't. I can't. There's something about the way that this is animated that comes down to just awkwardness and uncanniness that I just can't shake. I just can't shake. Plus the music is really annoying. Let me know of anything else you want me to break down and analyze. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.